Paraguay is a small South American country with a big heart. Slightly smaller than the state of California, Paraguay is home to approximately 7 million people, with most living around the capital city of Asunción. Its landlocked location has earned it the nickname, the Heart of South America. Paraguay has a unique blend of indigenous and colonial influences, with the majority of its population being of mixed Spanish and Guarani descent. What draws most people to the heart of South America is one of the natural wonders of the world, Iguazu Falls. But the real gem in Paraguay are the people. Paraguayans are known as the happiest people in the world. It's a happiness that's not driven by affluence. In rural areas, 40% of the population doesn't earn enough to cover basic necessities. Paraguayans' happiness is attributed to their emphasis on strong personal connections. They prioritize spending time together and can often be found sipping the national drink tereré. This beverage is created through a mixture of chopped herbs, served over ice water in a communal cup called a guampa. Families bond as they chat and pass the guampa. Those bonds and a strong sense of community is mirrored within the Seventh-day Adventist Church. There are 15,000 Adventists in the country, a relatively small number compared to the population. Benjamin Belmonte is the president of the Adventist Church in Paraguay. He describes the church as lively and hard-working, but having many difficulties when it comes to spreading the gospel.
Tenemos una iglesia en Paraguay que está en crecimiento, pero todavía no es fuerte económicamente. Entonces, las iglesias que están bien construidas, agradecemos a Dios porque tenemos varias iglesias nuevas, pero tenemos todavía un gran espacio para poder crecer en lugares donde los hermanos se reúnen bajo un árbol o se reúnen en una salita o están reuniéndose a cielo abierto, donde no hay donde poder congregarse.
Despite the challenges, Benjamin knows that proper places of worship would be a major boost to their outreach efforts.
Mira, nosotros creemos que si tenemos un mejor lugar para las reuniones, el evangelio va a llegar con más fuerza. Si las personas tienen un lugar para decir, mira, aquí es la iglesia, o aquí podemos ir a adorar, o aquí vamos a tener, poder escuchar la palabra de Dios, yo creo que la apertura para que el evangelio llegue a esas personas va a ser mucho más fuerte. O sea, no solo vamos a tener un lugar mejor para recibir a la gente, sino que vamos a tener un ambiente para que la palabra de Dios pueda llegar a esas personas. Yo creo que eso va a ser una gran fuerza para Paraguay.
This belief led to a request for Maranatha to come and build churches in Paraguay. But this country isn't completely unfamiliar territory. From 2001 to 2002, Maranatha sent more than 170 volunteers to Paraguay to build 14 churches along with a large school. Now, in 2024, we've returned to bolster church growth. Today on Maranatha Mission Stories, we'll meet some of the dedicated church members whose efforts are establishing the gospel in previously unreached corners of this country. A few hours south of the capital Asunción is the city of Quindío. Quindío is famous for the production of sports balls, as evidenced by the salespeople that line the main street peddling their wares. But one thing Quindío wasn't famous for was Adventists. Americo Piñares has lived in Quindío for a little over a year. He moved to the area with his wife and son after he felt God calling him to do more to spread the gospel.
En realidad, lo que me apasiona es la experiencia que viví. Hace 30 años que me bauticé, me aparté de Dios y cuando yo me aparté de Dios, entendí del amor de Dios también, cuánto Dios nos ama. Ese amor que yo recibo es lo que quiero compartir con la gente. Lo que me apasiona es de quiero que todo el mundo se salve. Mi deseo es eso. Y entonces eso me apasiona y por eso justamente tomé esa decisión de entregarme tiempo completo.
This passion is what pushed him to uproot his life and family to start ministry in this previously unreached area.
Le pregunté al Señor qué es lo que tengo que hacer, hacia dónde tengo que irme, ¿verdad? Y entonces el Señor empezó a mostrarme el camino y empecé a contactarme con algunas personas y empezaron los estudios bíblicos. Ahí empezamos a encontrar personas que tenían interés de estudiar la Biblia y empezamos estudiando la Biblia, ¿verdad? Y el Señor abrió el camino. Y este año, gracias a Dios, se bautizó 24 personas aquí en Quinto.
Americo doesn't take any credit for the amazing response he's seen. He just does his best to show God's love through the way he lives.
En realidad, yo pienso, ¿verdad?, que el que le atrae es cuando uno vive en Cristo y ese amor verdadero que viene de Cristo es el que imparte a otra persona. En realidad, la gente de doctrina sabe muchísimo. La mayoría de la gente sabe doctrina, pero muy pocos son los que conocen a Jesús. Porque la gente está hambreado sinceramente de Jesús. Y eso le atrae a la persona. Y toma decisión, y estudia, y se bautiza. Quiere ser parte de ese grupo.
That hunger for Christ has quickly filled the Kinder Church. Each Sabbath morning, more than 40 people meet in this building that is both the Kinder Adventist Church and Americo's home. Americo's wife gave a tour of their unconventional worship space. What would be the living room is now the sanctuary. The kitchen space doubles as a children's Sabbath school room. Their son sleeps in this area. And their bedroom sits in the back of the building space. Sharing their personal space with the church isn't ideal. People are often suspicious of attending a worship service in a home. Plus, not only has the space become crowded, it's very hot. Americo and the entire congregation started holding monthly prayer meetings, asking God specifically for a better place for them to worship. Maranatha's arrival in Paraguay is a direct answer to prayer. Soon, this piece of land will be home to a new church, a validation of God's love and care for the Kinder congregation.
Entonces, para nosotros es una respuesta de Dios porque cuando nos dio la noticia de que Maranatha iba a construir, entonces en realidad intensificó más para que nosotros pudiéramos entregarnos más y para que podamos así, o sea que nos da esa confianza de pedir, de buscarle a Dios porque Dios siempre responde. Y estamos muy contentos por lo que, por Maranatha, ¿verdad? Por elegir Quindú, para que ahí se pueda levantar una casa para el Señor y de ahí predicar su palabra.
When we come back, we'll head to eastern Paraguay and meet another man whose passion for missions drew him home.
It's unique, it's simple, it's affordable. This is the One Day Church, Maranatha's worship solution in remote areas of Africa for church families who have no church home. A frame and a roof is the beginning. Local church members do the rest. The One Day Church starts at $7,500, a price which can be divided into $1,500 shares. Each share comes with a photo of the church you helped build. The One Day Church, a home for our church family.
Out of the 7 million people who live in Paraguay, just over 3.5 million live in and around the sprawling metropolis of Asunción. Leave the bustling city, and you're immediately met by the rolling fields that represent the agrarian nature of this country. The fertile plains make the country an important agricultural producer. Soybeans are a major cash crop, as Paraguay is the 6th largest producer of soybeans in the world. Although sizable farming operations can be found all over the country, you'll also find small homestead farms like this one owned by Catalino Ruiz. Catalino lives in the small town of Tacurati. This settlement is far off the nearest paved road. In fact, up until a few years ago, there was no road. Catalino makes furniture and works on his homestead with his family. Religion didn't factor into their lives until a visiting salesman, who happened to be Adventist, arrived in town. What started out as a business call led to a deeper relationship that included Bible studies. Catalino and his family were soon baptized and began sharing their newfound faith with their neighbors. For 5 years, these mango trees served as the site for worship services. Then Catalino donated a piece of land, and they began to build their little church. Today, the Tacurati Church stands as an icon of faith in this community. But the church is now too small. The cramped space gets hot during the summer, and visitors and children are often forced to worship outside. Pastor Alberto Pirelli shared their hardships and their dreams for growing their church. This neighborhood is quickly expanding, and they're already seeing more people who would be interested in joining them for worship if they had the space. Another area of the country that is growing is just north of Tacurati. Around the town of Jaguarate Forest, the government is offering land and building homes for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to own land. The community is growing fast and will soon be considered a municipality. Justino Nunez was born and raised in the town of Jaguarate Forest. As an adult, his search for work took him to the larger city of Santa Rita. While working in Santa Rita, he was given a CD produced by the Adventist Church, which led him to be baptized. But he couldn't help but think about his family and friends back in Jaguarate Forest who hadn't yet heard about the hope he had been offered. Armed with excitement about his newfound faith, Justino decided to take a year off of work and move his family back to Jaguarate Forest to share the gospel with as many people as possible. One by one, he began to visit the neighbors, offering them Bible studies. Soon, he had a small group that worshiped together under trees. But many were skeptical about joining. What sort of religion doesn't have a proper church and meets under a tree? Their meeting place was a major barrier for people considering joining for worship.
Hay mucha gente que dice, se reúne bajo el árbol, no tiene futuro, puede terminar cualquier día. Entonces cuando hay un templo fijo ya ahí, entonces pensamos que las cosas son más serias. Entonces pensamos que va a haber muchas más personas ahí que va a venir a congregar, a aceptar.
But a proper place of worship seemed like a distant dream.
No tenemos un lugar, no tenemos un terreno, no tenemos para alquilar ni plata para pagar los alquiler porque acá no hay casi trabajo, recursos.
The group received an answer to prayer through the donation of some land and then this structure. It's made of pieces from another building that was disassembled and moved to this site. The major upgrade immediately drew attention to the group and boosted their membership.
El grupo empezó a crecer. El primer bautismo fue 8 personas, después fue más 7 y ya había más personas nuevas, son 15 personas. Y en el tercer bautismo que hubo ya más adelante fue 15 personas donde se bautizó.
Today, more than 35 people meet here for worship. Although the congregation is grateful for the gift of this structure that brought worship indoors, the building isn't free from challenges. The metal roof heats up the space during the blistering summer. And the wooden walls are already showing signs of water damage. Soon, hot, crowded worship services will be a thing of the past for both the Tacuarembó and Jaguarate Forest congregations. Both groups will be recipients of new Maranatha Church structures, changing their worship experience forever. When we come back, we'll meet another passionate church member eagerly awaiting Maranatha's arrival in Paraguay.
Have you ever met someone who didn't like waterfalls? We haven't either. The dollars you give to Maranatha Volunteers International are creating waterfalls. Like this one in India, in Kenya, and Brazil. Maranatha is bringing clean, accessible water to hundreds of communities. Water for all that eases the burden on these women and their families. Water that in some cases would have to be purchased, depleting monthly income. Water that is safe to drink and share with a neighbor. Water to grow a garden. Water for children going to school. So the next time you're inspired by one of these, think about saving a life with one of these.
Anyone can build a church. Simply give just $10 each month, and your donation, along with thousands of others, will fund a new place of worship every month. The potential for change is all around you. All you have to do is look.
The city of Ciudad del Este is most famous for its proximity to Iguazu Falls, as the natural wonder draws more than 1.5 million visitors each year. Ciudad del Este is the second most populous city in Paraguay, and it is the business and technology capital of the country. It's also home to Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos Mieres is a retired engineer and a member of the San Alfredo Adventist Church in the suburbs of Ciudad del Este. A few times a week, you can find Juan Carlos shuttling members from around the city to church, ensuring they can attend the many activities organized by the group. He's been a member since 2012, but his faith journey began decades prior.
Yo me formé, ¿cierto?, con educación adventista. Yo hice mi secundario en el Colegio Adventista del Plata, que queda en la Argentina. Yo hice mi secundario, pero aún ahí no me bauticé. Después, como Moisés, salí de ahí 40 años por el mundo, 40 años yendo de aquí a allá, pero sin olvidar nunca, por ejemplo, la formación adventista.
He spent many years working as an engineer for a large hydroelectric dam and even rose to a management position. But something was still missing from his life.
Y determinadas circunstancias hicieron, por ejemplo, que comenzara a buscar una iglesia adventista en el lugar donde vivo. Fueron esas circunstancias a veces dolorosas como un accidente, y donde me hizo recapacitar que era hora de volver nuevamente a buscarle a Dios.
Someone told him about a new group of Adventists that had just begun meeting in the San Alfredo neighborhood, and they invited him to join. Soon, Juan Carlos discovered his life was changing. Little by little, he began to study the Bible. Again, fostering the practice of studying, speaking with God, praying again. He found himself reading books like The Desire of Ages or The Great Controversy, books he had been familiar with but had never studied with this amount of enthusiasm, love, and affection. Through the Holy Spirit, his life completely changed. The connection to the San Alfredo Adventist community changed Juan Carlos's life. What started as a handful of people meeting in a member's home has grown to 75 members worshiping together each week. This church community has a special place in his heart.
Es como si yo lo hubiera plantado o regado, verlo crecer. Conozco a cada uno de mis hermanos, a cada familia y a los muchachos que muchas veces ya vi crecer. No puedo dejar de vivir por San Alfredo. Y como diría la gente, yo soy jubilado. Yo puedo agarrar el mayor crucero del mundo, irme por el año, puedo irme por 1 año, 2 años, 3 años, tranquilamente. Pero la mayor alegría es mi iglesia, mis hermanos, ¿cierto?
Today, this congregation is the fastest growing Adventist group in the area. But the one thing that is slowing their growth is physical space. For years, they bounced around from space to space, finally landing in this home that they rented and converted into a makeshift church. But the space cannot accommodate all that want to attend, and the layout is less than ideal. The church hosts many community programs, and renting this space for $380 a month is a financial hardship the members find difficult to bear.
Contamos con tantos miembros que no conseguimos caber, digamos, o entrar en este salón. A veces las personas tienen que buscar otra iglesia porque acá no pueden ellos ingresar todo. Y eso es, digamos, lo que tenemos en la realidad. Entonces, lamentamos que la mayoría de los miembros a veces no pueden compartir con nosotros, tienen que ir a buscar otro lugar y nos dicen cada día el por qué no hacen una iglesia, el por qué no construyen algo más grande, el por qué acaso ustedes no tienen mucha gente. Y le decimos, Dios proveerá.
For years, Juan Carlos tried different avenues to gather financial support to help them build a new church. Promises were made, but each time reality set in and they were let down. Then, at the beginning of 2024, they received different news from Maranatha.
Hasta que de repente nos viene la noticia de que íbamos a construir nuestra iglesia, que íbamos a tener nuestra iglesia. Y una cosa que realmente ya era palpable, realmente ya era cuestión de tiempo, como nos dijeron, ¿cierto? Que ya estaban los papeles que nos iban, ¿cierto? Iban a hacer lo imposible para que tengamos nuestra iglesia. Y hasta ahora hay personas que no pueden creer eso. Hasta ahora los hermanos no saben cómo agradecer, no saben cómo orar, no saben qué hacer de la alegría y de la confianza y de la oración y de las gracias que tienen para nuestro Dios.
The feeling of disbelief and gratitude is shared by all of the congregations Maranatha will be helping all over the country.
Para nosotros en Paraguay realmente es una bendición poder recibir a Maranatha. Estábamos aquí peleando con lo que podíamos, recibiendo apoyos, pero cuando vimos que Maranatha podía venir, nos dio una luz de esperanza muy, muy especial. Creemos que todas estas iglesias que Maranatha nos va a poder ayudar a construir, va a cambiar la historia de los hermanos en aquel lugar. Hermanos que estaban apretados y ya no entraban más personas, ahora tendrán espacio para invitar a gente a venir. Hermanos que no tenían dónde reunirse, ahora van a tener lugares dignos de nuestro Dios que creemos. Entonces, para Paraguay, el apoyo de Maranatha es fundamental. Nuestra gratitud a Dios en primer lugar y al liderazgo, a los que apoyan mediante Maranatha el Evangelio en Paraguay.
Maranatha is embarking on a major project to bring proper places of worship to congregations in Paraguay. Soon, empty plots of land will be transformed into cherished worship spaces. It's a project that is very personal to Americo, Justino, and Juan Carlos. They have worked hard to be pillars of faith, bringing light and hope to their communities. Maranatha's arrival validates the sacrifices they've made to share Jesus with their friends and neighbors. But none of this is possible without your support. Make a donation towards the construction of churches in Paraguay. You can help Maranatha share the heart of Christ in the warm heart of South America.